Hey guys, this is Ollie from Ollie's Big Picture. I just arrived from Shanghai here in Germany at the Munich airport, and this is right the place where the very famous YouTuber from Germany about cars, JP Performance, found a very interesting car from China he never saw before.
Also wir sind am Flughafen und wollen eigentlich gerade zurückfliegen. Und dann gehe ich Richtung McDonald's und gucke rüber und sehe das. Und denke mir so, was ist das?
The new brand called HiPhi. I spoke to them and they're gonna show me the car, and they're also gonna give me the car for one day to try it out. So without further ado, let's go there and check out the car.
Dann ist das wirklich krass. So, also das sieht wirklich aus wie Cyberpunk, wie aus irgendeinem Science-Fiction-Film.
Now after driving this car for 1 hour, before I tell you how it drives and how it feels, of course I want to talk with you about the outside, so you get a better impression. Here from the front, in my personal opinion, it looks very much like a GTR, like a Nissan GTR, and the lighting and the shape in general makes it very futuristic, like very cyberpunkish. It is a head turner. Like, I have many people, they already talked to us and they asked us, what is this car? It looks so different from the cars we are used to here in Germany. It's definitely a head turner. What is also a head turner, and I didn't see in many cars, is how the doors open. You can open it with the remote, both doors, and they open, you see, like to both sides. This is something I didn't see in many cars yet. If it's practical, I cannot tell you yet. But what is definitely practical for this car is the space. The space, I'm about like 184, 185. When you look, this is how I drove. It's enough space for the head, and here everything is enough space for me. I will tell you later more about the build quality and how the car looks inside. And let's check out the back. Here in the back, when I would drive there, also way enough space for a guy like 180 for the head, for the legs. It's plenty, seats very comfortable. We'll tell you later more about it. And you can also close both doors again with the remote. It looks very futuristic also with the lights. They can display there also, like when you walk to the car, they display there like servus, what means like it's a Bavarian slang or greeting for hello. And you have also here the cameras for the autonomous driving and the radar over here. And this is all glass roof. I will show you later when we are inside the glass roof. It makes a very roomy, nice feeling. Let's go to the trunk, to the back side of the car. Of course, here on the back side, you also have like plenty of rear cameras, and also for the rear mirror. I guess this one is for the rear mirror in front for the driver, which is digital as well. You will see later inside. And for the trunk itself, it's enough space. Like for this type of car, it's not huge, but it's also not small. I just arrived from Shanghai. I got my luggage in here for my trip to Munich. I got my backpack, my snacks, everything fits in here. And here is also some buttons. You can just basically flip the seats. If you have something long like your skis or something, you can just flip it and extend. Here, over this side, on the right side of the car, they put the charging port. It opens automatically, and this one is for the big gun, for the fast charging. And this one, I was told, is for the slow charge. And this is probably for the battery, close automatically. And here, if you don't want to use the remote, of course, you don't have always the remote or the other passengers, you open the door by clicking this button, and then it opens automatically that way. And when you press it again, you can also close it. On the other side here, you have an NFC. I guess it's because that you can open like with your phone or with the NFC card the car as well. There's just one thing I have to get used to. For me in person, I have to think of I should not stand in front of the door. Because for example, when I stand now here and I want to open the door, I'm basically standing in the way. So this is something you have to get used to because the door is opening to the other side. So you see there's some space missing. But for this, just maybe we can show the guys around here. It's really, really nice inside as well. We will come to this in a second. It looks, just in my opinion, amazing, very futuristic. From my side, I love it. It's definitely a head turner. From outside as well as the inside, it's absolutely a head turner. With all the lighting, we will also show you later a bit more.
Jetzt so, nein. Ich glaube, ich würde das gerne mal fahren.
Also das sollten wir wirklich mal fahren, das ist echt ein Erlebnis, dieses Auto.
After driving with the car for a couple hours now around Munich countryside, to small village roads, like countryside roads, through the mountains, the car is really, really nice with the suspension. Not too soft, stiff enough to give you a good feedback, but also not too stiff. And when I rode over some speed bumps, you couldn't feel much of it. It was almost driving like an SUV. This was very, very impressive. Also the steering wheel, the responsiveness, and also how stiff or how soft it is and how precise it is. It's scary. It's almost scary how good it is nowadays. There's nothing to complain about the suspension. There's nothing to complain about the feedback of the steering wheel. What is new for me is just when I look here, there's no meter for me. I cannot see my speedometer or anything. There's nothing. I only have the head-ups display. It's not a big deal for me, but at the beginning I had to get used to it, not to look here, but to look always in my window to see my speed and to see my range, or I can see it here on this display. The display itself, huge, very responsive, very bright and very sharp. Like this display, we know already the sad stories about many German cars, how bad the display was in the past. This one is really, really good. I like it. Another thing about the driving experience, it's also very solid soundproof. I saw like the windows, they are double glass windows, so there is no problem with the wind noise. It's very quiet. You can also in high speeds talk to your friends on a normal level. It's very, very good from this one as well. For the acceleration, for the speed of the acceleration, it's like a typical, like 500-600 horsepower electric car. We have no transmission. It puts your head, like I can make it a little bit right now. Yeah, it puts your head right in the seat. It also accelerates very crazy from 0 to 100 to 200. However, when you saw my video about the Neo EL7, or in other countries called ES7, I found the punch and the acceleration in the Neo felt even a little bit crazier. Like I don't know if it's because they have a different engine in the front and the back on the rears, but the punch and the acceleration, I don't have the timer, just from feeling wise, it felt even more punchier in the Neo. That's what I can say. About the seats are quite comfortable. I didn't have any issues with them in the last 2-3 hours I was driving the car. They have a very nice side hold here. You see this one, the sides. They are very like racy. Like the seats give you like a very sturdy, racy feeling. They also hold you very tight in the curves. Nothing to complain about the seats. This one I also like very much. They have ventilation, they have heating, they have everything what you need. And the whole sturdiness of the car, everything here feels sturdy and very well. Another thing what I find quite nice here, you have some gear shifts. You don't have gears in this car, at least that I don't know of. But here on the left you have some pedals at the wheel and you have the shift here for the different drive modes. Like when you look here, for example, you can switch to the right, comfort mode, sport mode. You have like also a sound feedback, and switch from the left to the right as you like it. This is something I really like. It's quite smart. In some other cars it was a little bit more difficult to understand how to switch to drive modes. Here they give you with those pedals, what is also metal, like I don't know if it's aluminum or what kind of metal, but it feels very cold and it feels very, yeah, nice. Like the feeling is quite, yeah, it has a good value. Another cool feature in the car is when you are parking, it doesn't just show you the surrounding, what you have around the car, but also it shows you what is underneath the car. Okay guys, now Kevin, we're gonna be so nice here from the HiPhi showroom to show us more about the car, what gimmicks, what features the car has, first from the outside, and then we're gonna talk a little bit more about what the car can do inside. So without further ado, I would give my one microphone I have today to Kevin, and then please tell us something about the car, what's interesting.
Yeah, no problem. Obviously, right now there's daytime running lights here in the front that have a specific pattern. These patterns can be altered and changed into 3 different patterns. As of right now, they're in the prism. Then they have gale, which can also be altered in the menu. I'll show you how that works and everything as well. And then it also has projection lamps on both the front ends by the lights of the car. This up here is also a functional wing for the hood that allows the airflow to go across the car. And also these vents are active vents, so they will open and close as the car needs cooling, requires less cooling, whatever the case may be. Also, these vents are real. They go to the tires, around the tires. These inserts, these plastic inserts are for aerodynamic purposes, which allow the car to have 50 kilometers more range. They actually allow the through the rotation to push the air out instead of sucking air in, which allows it to equally get more range. Here, these are mainly for warning lights, so if the door is open and there are bicyclists, pedestrians at night coming, these are the warning lights. On the back end, on this side of the car, you can program it to do a number of different things, whether it be images during the HiPhi show, or you want to write your company name. If you're single and you want to write your phone number, those are things that you can obviously put in there. Also, you can program.
Is it easy to do? You just do it on the display?
It's in the display, yeah. It's just a couple of touches of the button. You put in the text that you want to display here, and you literally just press play, and it will display it in the door. So in the back, obviously, we have the wing scoop in the back. Obviously, the airflow continues here, can go underneath the rear wing, and then obviously at 80 kilometers an hour, this wing will also come up and will continue to flow over that. This wing can be adjusted, so you can either just close it completely or leave it up completely. I like to drive with it out. Some people prefer to have it in. I guess that's just a optical feature as well. These lights are the same as the lights in the front, can also be programmed to the 3 specific patterns that I was speaking of previously, and also can display things like emojis or something that is also actually really, really cool in the backlight is that this car is actually capable of showing a actual U-turn. So being able to show that you're going to make a U-turn at the lights here, at least, I don't know how it is in other parts of the world, but people get really frustrated when they're sitting in the left turn lane and they don't know where the person's going. So being able to depict that in a light is actually really nice.
Let's talk for now about the inside of the car. Like for example, here you can see the lighting is very, very futuristic, I would say. It's like a little bit like, also JP said, like cyberpunk music. So we would say it's totally like new concept of lighting underneath the fabric. It's right underneath the fabric, as you can see here as well. It's right underneath the fabric, like when I put my finger here. And I also thought this one over there is light, but Kevin just told me this one is just reflective.
Yeah, it's a reflective material that's underneath the perforated leather, so it gives that effect.
Yeah, it looks really cool, but can you choose different reflection colors? Is it always?
As for Europe, no. I'm not sure if they have this option in China. But for us here in Europe, that is the color that comes underneath the perforated seats.
Okay, and then you have also the lighting here. Is it LED lighting under?
Correct. Now
Plastic,
the
or-
door is open, so it'll automatically go straight to red. As soon as the door is closed, on the other side it's pink, for example. Obviously, depending on which color. Right now, it's in the cyberpunk setting, but it does have like 5 different presets, and then obviously you have the option also to choose the 6th one, which is custom, and then you can literally change all the colors.
Can you show us a bit more about the display, like what it can do? It can also change the rotation, the degree, right?
So I can actually switch the angles at which the screen is facing, and then I can also bring it further up, which is actually, there's a huge concept behind this. If you've ever sat in a car and you've set the steering wheel and everything to the way it's supposed to be, to where your wrists are only on the steering wheel, you can never reach the screen without leaning forward out of your chair. And they developed this HiPhi bot in order for you to actually utilize the features in the screen, so that way you can stay seated in your chair while you're driving. And as a safety measure, if you actually proceed towards a vehicle at a very high speed, or the vehicle determines that you may be involved in an accident within a short period of time, the screen shoots back into the dashboard and therefore is back out of the way for safety purposes.
That's smart.
So there's a lot of thought that was put into this display, and you can also save it to your driver settings as well. So
Yeah, like here you can see the different mechanics behind.
So there are really a lot of features, and you really need time to understand the car, understand how you can access all of the features. And like I said, I mean, just the daytime running lights alone, you can change the interior lighting, you can change all the settings on the car. Can be customized. I know that one specific YouTuber mentioned that the car doors make Chinese noises and game noises that when they open and close, but that person did not mention that you can also make it completely silent, or that you could turn them off.
Just for the little roundabout, thank you very much, Kevin, for showing the car a little bit. And I want just to say, for me, it was very cool to drive around with it, because very old people, I think way above 60 or 70, they were looking at the car and they had really like sparkling in their eyes, and they were really becoming like almost a child again, and were asking, wow, that looks so cool. What is this? I never saw something like this. Is this like a car to buy already? And also the very young kids, of course, they looked at it like, wow, that's so cool, and their eyes were sparkling. For me personally, who just came from Shanghai here, it felt like I could bring a little bit of Shanghai, a little bit of what's happening in China. That's very important for me, why I do also those videos, to show you guys what's happening over there in Shanghai. And with this car and these guys here, they brought a little bit of this to Germany, and I could drive around with it, and I could see in the eyes of the people when I parked it or when I drove by, or they were waving to me from the window from another car, how impressed they were. So just buckle up, stay ready. There's a lot more coming from China, I would say. So just stay tuned.